You're tuned into news across the galaxy where they talk all things LA Galaxy with the Nag Boys. Let's start nagging.
All right. Wild week in MLS. Crazy game. I think there's some questions answered, some more questions that we need to ask. A lot to be unmasked. So, welcome to News Across the Galaxy. We talk all things LA Galaxy. My name's Eddie. No one is here with me at the studio. I'm a little disappointed, but it is what it is. Uh, Edgar was, by the way, search party for Bryant. If you know Bryant's
Yes.
whereabouts, please put it on the chat. We're worried about him.
Yes, please.
Bryant,
We're gonna put an
Bryant
Amber Alert out for Bryant pretty soon.
is like the supermarket. Bryant, your parents are waiting for you in the front. Bryant, please come find your parents in the front. Anyways, welcome to News Across the Galaxy. We'll talk all things LA Galaxy. My name's Eddie. Today, I have Edgar with me. What up, Edgar?
What's up, Eddie? I'm over here in Nag Studio East. It's very interesting. Did it get darker earlier today for some reason? I don't know. I mean, I woke up. I felt kind of tired, and it was weird. And then I realized we have sprung forward.
Have the Galaxy. Ooh. And the ones and twos, we got Chelsea. What up, Chelsea?
Hey, what up? What up?
So like I said, there's some questions to be asked, there's some discussions we can have. Me and Edgar will go back and forth, see what we come up with. But before we get to that, Edgar did start the 2024 uh, kit challenge or kit tournament, right? Where people get to vote
Yep.
and pick their favorite jerseys. But Edgar, I'm gonna let you take the floor because I really am not present on social media, so I don't know how that works right now. Go for it.
Here we
Yeah,
go.
every year, one of the things that I love to do, because I'm a big kit guy, I love to review MLS kits. I've been doing it for, I guess, the last 2 years in earnest. But and it was a good time to start doing it because MLS has really improved their kit game. A lot of the teams have put out some really nice uniforms that have become legendary. Obviously, this all started like in 2022, 21, with the Galaxy's community kit, which everybody, I mean, knows is one of the best ever. And in the years that have passed since then, MLS has actually listened to fans and paid really close attention to some of the people at the clubs because some of the uniforms reflect the local culture, the local history. And right now, I took my rankings, whether you agreed with them or not. This is your opportunity to have your voice heard. And all 29 teams have their new kits on my ranking, and I put them all in a bracket. And they're all going at it. In fact, we have some results already. Um, Let me bring it up real quick because I have it on a spreadsheet. Uh, the first one that advanced to the next round was Columbus Crew with their Charlie Brown kit, which took out the real boring kit from Toronto, the GTA kit, which has nothing to do with Grand Theft Auto. And and then New York versus Philly. Philly put out a really nice uniform. It still got the little beanball on there, but hey, whatever, tasty bread. And they knocked out the Cooligans in their 24/7 kit, which I mean 24/7 walking around bodegas looking for bodega cats to pat in the head. That's cute and all, but the Philly Serpent took that one. And so little by little, every day I'm putting out two kits, two sets of kits, and people get to vote. And I'm just gonna ask everybody. Um, I know most of the people that tune in here are Galaxy fans. Don't just vote for the LA Galaxy. Vote for the other teams as well, because I want to try and get as good, as accurate as possible depiction of what people believe should be the winner. I know that eventually it's gonna be like our fan media versus your fan media thing, but for now, let's entertain my idea, please, and vote for who you think is actually the best. The Galaxy kit, I ranked somewhere in the middle. I didn't think it was that good. There's much better uniforms out there. So if you feel the same way, go ahead. If you still want to stick with with the Galaxy kit, go ahead. But have your voice heard. Anyway, let's take it back to Eddie. What's up, Eddie?
Hey, total transparency. I'm actually not in NAG studio. I am actually here in beautiful Mexico City. Fans actually sent me out here because they told me they missed Chicha and Jonah. So I'm out here to try to get them back and see if they'd come back for peanuts because we have no more DP slots. So no, I'm kidding. I'm here to recruit Kate Cow. Kate Cow.
Okay.
Damn, fucking up. I can't even say his name. He's not gonna come. I fucked up, guys.
Oh no,
uh,
Eddie froze.
Oh no, what happened? Effects. Oh, Mexico City internet. uh, but yeah, like I said, there's a few things to talk about. A very interesting game. We'll go through the lineup real quick, and the Galaxy actually went out with the very same lineup that we've seen all season, is McCarthy in goal. Out there, left back, Cáceres and Yoshida sharing the center back duties. Yamane at right back, Delgado and Sergio in the center mids, along with Ricky Pujimor in the attacking position. Then we have Paintsil at right, Fagundes out left, and Dejan Jovic on top. Now, before the game even kicked off, Edgar got some news that Zimmerman wasn't playing. Also, we were all aware that Nashville had played a intense game against Miami during the week, and they were getting they had to get ready to play him yet again this upcoming week for the second leg of that tournament. So going in to that game, how were you feeling, Edgar, before the when you saw the lineup and before we kicked off?
Yeah, it was interesting because my emotions or my expectations of the game changed throughout the week. Uh, when I met earlier in the week to speak with Tim Sullivan, who covers Nashville SC, he invited me to come on his pod. This was before the Miami game, right? So at the time, I looked at Miami. I mean, I looked at Nashville and I saw that Hani Mukhtar was set to come back at some point this week. And Tyler Boyd is there, and they're a pretty solid team. They had only played 2 games so far. Both of them were draws, and I figured, these guys are due for a win. They're at home. It's real difficult to get a win on the road in MLS. And I said at the time, I expect a 3-2 Nashville win. And but it was all pending what was going to happen on Thursday night. Thursday night rolls around, and these two teams went at it. I mean, they really played hard. Inter Miami and Nashville beat each other up to the point where Walker Zimmerman suffered an injury and he was unable to go today. And I mean, that's what you can see, right? He's physically injured. Who knows? You pick up knocks during the games. You get exhausted, you're tired, and then what? 3 days later, you're back on the field against an LA Galaxy team that's going to run at you from the very beginning. So at that point, I said, it's gonna be a 2-2 draw. And then Sunday morning, I thought, you know what? I think Alex can pull this one out 2-1. And then lo and behold, an old specter came back. We thought this team had gotten over last year, which is missed penalties. And Eddie, we were talking about this before the show started. We were talking about like how it just feels like they always miss penalties, right? And then we looked at the statistics, which Spenny looked up for us, and they made all 5 penalties last year, which is 5 is a low number, but still they made all 5. I mean, and then you look back at 2022, and they had 14 opportunities and missed 5, which is a lot. And then you're like, are you guys back at this again? You guys are gonna miss penalties again? What the hell is going on? Because if Galaxy had made the penalty against Miami, if they had made the penalty today, Dayon, this team would be 3-0, 3-0, 3-0, first place in the West, probably top of the Shield standings. What do you think, Eddie? What the hell's going on?
Well, let's talk about the way the game, uh, started off, right? I will first off, I felt pretty confident once all those, looking at all those factors, tired legs, no Walker Zimmerman, and you see the lineup. They didn't even as much as start their starting keeper. So I was like, all right, hell yeah, we got this. This is you know
Yeah, no Henny
the 3 points in
Mukhtar.
the yeah, no honey moved our 3 points in the bag for sure. The way we've been playing, and then you see the same lineup. We're well rested, and they came out and it looked good. It looked good, and you know, fast forward to the penalty that the Galaxy it actually it wasn't called at first, but the VAR got it right. It's absolutely a penalty, in my opinion. If if you feel different, you don't watch soccer. Kidding, but yeah, it's just crazy. It's crazy to think that we. Oh, by the way, shout out to Israel. Super chat, $5. Somebody make a missing poster for Bryant.
Yes, please. Like I said, we're gonna put them on a milk carton. We're gonna put them up around the neighborhood like a lost puppy. You know,
Mm.
get a free voucher to what, to the King Taco if you can find them.
Yeah, seriously. And then also, uh, Poor Killer, first $2 super chat, his first super chat. Shout out to Poor Killer 10. And yeah, so as I was saying, it's crazy, right? Like, I don't know. I still feel like we got to fact check those penalties. Maybe there's like Leagues Cup games or something that we're not factoring. There had to be missed penalties last season because it could not have carried the worry and the lack of confidence as fans when it comes to penalties cannot have carried over from 2 years ago. I refuse to believe that we're missing something. Uh, with like the way the Galaxy's missing penalties, we're definitely missing something here. So I also think and I'm gonna give credit to Vanny later, but I also think it's like Vanny is also at fault here, right? We have proven or unproven or however you want to say it, not proven not good penalty shooters in Ricky, in Dejan. We've seen Markey convert a penalty. He's on the field. Paintsil has played at some of the highest levels. Give him a shot. Historically in soccer, there's been center backs that are good at penalties. I don't know, maybe Yoshida's good at penalties for all we know, but it's crazy that we keep just giving the confidence, putting the confidence on these guys to convert. Where not only have they been misses, they've been bad misses, right? It's not like holy shit, the keeper got it,
Oh
like
yeah,
he guessed it
this
right. They've
one.
all been, including this one, right?
Yeah.
They've all been bad penalty misses. I mean, someone can correct me if I'm wrong, but it's these guys do not look like good penalty takers at all. They don't give me confidence, Ricky or Dejan. And if anyone feels different in the chat, let me know if I'm wrong. I would really like to know, but I just think it's wild that Vanny still puts trust in these guys. And for someone like Dejan, which I'll get to later, uh, it's not necessarily the best thing for his confidence.
Yeah, definitely. It's it's interesting, and I hate using that word because it can mean so much. But it's interesting to bring this topic up so much because it reminds me of something that happened in the NBA where in the 1980s, some of the better teams in the NBA, the Celtics, Lakers, the Rockets, teams that were perennial contenders for NBA titles, they were known for having really good free throw shooters. And the closest thing you're going to have it to a free throw in MLS and soccer and football is the penalty kick. So those teams in the NBA, they used to religiously practice their free throws. Like Larry Bird, would shoot like 500, 1,000 free throws, after games or during practice, and the results showed. So I'm not saying that they should line up Dayon and Ricky or whoever to take 1,000 penalty shots, but at least set aside like one day where they're like, hey guys, you're just gonna focus on taking penalty kicks. Let's see you keep the ball down, try to hit the corners, do something because this can't we can't have a repeat of 2022, which was when you think about it, it feels like it was last year. Maybe it's just the vibes that kind of shifted over, but LA Galaxy missed very key penalties that eventually cost them spots, in standings and point count, whether it's the beginning of the season or the end. Um, on top of that, like Eddie was mentioning, and I know he's gonna wanna touch on this again later, but I'm just gonna bring it up briefly, is that you wanna think about the psyche of forward, right? I played forward for a bit, and I know that there were times where I would score goals and I feel good, and then there were times where I would go like an entire month without scoring a goal, no matter what the hell I tried, and it gets in your head, right? And it affects your confidence as a player, and that's just me, right, as an amateur, but I think about these guys at professional level, they're getting paid to do this. They're getting paid to score goals, not just score pretty goals, just score in general, period. And so you have Dayon, who we know has gone from the real highs of, pistoletto celebrations to, he'll score a goal now and he'll just, clap, quietly and, go back to the center circle and you're like, "What's going on in his head?" Right? I hope, you wanna hope that they're in the right mind space where, they have that confidence to be able to step up and take the shot from the spot or anywhere in general in the box, and then you give him the ball and he fires it right down the middle, waist high. Credit to the Nashville keeper, he made a good kick save, but the fact that he made it, he dove and he still had the time to kick it away shows you that what a poorly goal it was, a penalty shot. I'm sorry, but they need to figure something out. I don't know what's going on with Dayon. I know he scored later in the game, and we'll get back to that as well. But uh, to have your emotional level go from here to here to here to here, I mean, it's pretty messy. Um, we have actually another super chat over here in the chat. Jesse Canales, he gives us $5. Thank you so much, Jesse. I really appreciate it. He says, I do believe before the penalty, Galaxy had so much great momentum and possession and how well they're moving the ball, which I did enjoy a lot. And yeah, they did. A lot of times when you have a situation like that where you miss a penalty, it really sucks the wind out of your sail, man. And it's something that you don't want to happen, especially against a tough team like Nashville, where you can't make any mistakes. And then you look at who they have on the bench for this game. Obviously, they started a depleted lineup, but you look at who they have on the bench, and you're thinking to yourself, man, Galaxy better get on the board early, and they need to establish some kind of dominance because once these guys come in the second half, it's going to change the whole narrative. What do you think, Eddie?
Yeah, no, and to touch shout out to Jesse. Thank you for the super chat. It also it affects morale in both sides, right? One, as a Galaxy, you're like, fuck, you know, especially the guys that have been there for a while. Like, here we go again, missing penalties. It's like deja vu. Just came up with it. I'm all proud of myself. You know, deja vu, and then in the other hand, Nashville all of a sudden has this confidence, right? Because they're playing with their second string players, and that's the thing you don't want to do is give that team a reason to be confident, right? At home. So man, it was just a huge momentum shift. Just to Jesse's point, that once that penalty was missed, all of a sudden the bite was gone on the Galaxy's offense for the rest of the second half. It felt. Uh, so I mean, I don't know
Yeah.
if you saw any different, any change after the penalty miss.
Well, one of the things I was going to mention was that Nashville came in obviously hurting, right? Physically hurting, but also mentally, I think they feel snake bitten, right? Because twice they've had Messi come into town in an important match, right? I mean, last time it was League's Cup, right? And it was the final. So, okay, fine. Let's. I'm not a big fan of League's Cup, but let's entertain the fact that they made it to a final and they're fighting for a trophy, right? Big trophy. And they lost at home. I mean, they lost a game in a game where they should have won. Granted, it did go to penalties, right? So there's already that emotional charge coming into that match for them, and then they have Messi come in and they had them. They had them by the throat, and there was some questionable officiating. There were some real strange shenanigans at the end of the game, and somehow, some way, like we saw, you give these guys any kind of like WWE advantage, and they will take it. They will go a full bloodline on you, and like bring out Solo Sokoa and give you like a Samoan Spike, and next thing you know, you're just wondering what the hell happened, and Inter Miami's like walking all over you. So that's what happened in Nashville, right? So they're really upset. They come in with a chip on their shoulder, and Galaxy comes in like, yeah, we're new, we're refreshed, we're gonna kill you, right? And then Nashville's like, no, you're not. And so it makes things a lot harder. Um, that's why I mentioned, earlier, and I reiterated that Galaxy should have established some kind of dominance early on, because God, you can't give these guys any kind of opportunity, because I sincerely believe that these guys are going to be fighting for a spot in a very crowded Eastern Conference, which is very tough again. But I think Nashville is going to be one of the more solid teams, because they have such a good defense. And once they get all their people healthy and everybody up and running, and once Boyd is like becomes an integral part of their offense, they're going to be a threat, not just to the Eastern Conference, but all of MLS. So for Galaxy, I mean, yeah, in the end, they got some points. I mean, they got 8 point out of this game, but my goodness,
No,
I can't be the only one that's really upset at these wasted
you
opportunities.
you have to be. Again, there's a lot of questions asked, a lot of answered, right? So I guess we can kind of forward into the second half, right? Well, we got to give a shout out to McCarthy, who made a big save in the first half. I think us were never the biggest Bond fans. Well, maybe not never. Maybe we bought into the Bond girl summer the first year,
Bond girls, baby.
but McCarthy is definitely grown pretty quick on us, and I've I think we've forgotten and we've moved past Jonathan Bond. Um, Again, big saves. We always said everyone gets one. McCarthy gives one or two as well. So I never thought I'd be happy to have an ex Leva playing for us, but yeah, he made a big save in the first half. He does look more secure, and you said he looks more agile, right? More mobile in your eyes, Edgar.
Yeah, definitely. He's quicker on his feet, but higher reaction time. He gets to spots around the net that I remember Bond just kind of looking at the ball and being like, "All right, I guess I got to move." And this guy doesn't even think about it; just boom, he's gone like a cat. Which I heard somebody say recently that they remind them a lot of a certain cat
Nah, don't
that's
say it.
known to walk around the dig, right?
Nah, let's not go there.
I mean, that's what I heard somebody say, and I'm like, I don't know. That's a legendary cat,
No,
not just any cat.
no, no. Not even going there. I didn't want to touch that with a 20-foot pole, bro. Anyways, halftime, we go in. I think the game balanced out a little bit by the time we get to the halftime. So you know what though? Credit to Nashville, right? Nashville, their coaching. They don't, not only did they come in with mixture and second string. They rested what, 9 players? I think 9 or 10 players from their starting lineup, and this is it's only 3 games, but this is the least effective that Paintsil has been since joining the league, right? I don't feel that Paintsil was very dangerous. I don't really think he, yeah, sparked the attack too much. I don't know if Chewy or Edgar saw it different, but yeah, I don't feel that Paintsil was the same Paintsil that Galaxy fell in love with in this first half.
I'll let Chewy answer that first, but I just want to put out there that it was his first road trip outside of the state of California. I mean, so far he's played what, here, and then right up the road in San Jose, which, if you're talking about European teams, right? A lot of times their countries are about the size of California anyway. Like I know at least England is.
Yeah, so right
So
up the road is like a normal away trip for
yeah,
Jonathan.
and then now you're asked to travel across the country on the leap forward day, spring forward day, right? And so you have to get
Mhm.
up a little earlier, and you're dealing with the weather over there, which I heard it was cool. It's hot and humid there, but still, it's a change of scenery. It's not LA, so could that have affected him, Chewy? What do you think? Chewy, Chewy fell asleep. So
Oh, Chewy's laying next to Bryant all of a sudden.
Now go for it, dude. I have to do too much to turn on the mic over here.
Oh, okay. So yeah, I mean that's just one thing that I thought about because um I mean, we've come to expect in such a short period of time, just 2 games, we've come to expect Paintsil to be this solve all, this savior, right? This guy who has incredible speed, very intelligent player. He's already thinking about what he's going to do before he gets to the box, or what he's going to do with his teammates. So we come to expect that. We talked about it so much, we start to believe it, that it's going to happen every single time. And who knows? Maybe he drank a little bit of that Nashville water, and he was, affected. His tummy might have been rumbling, or maybe um, he just didn't, have a good night's sleep, or God, there's so many things that affect a player, right? But whatever it was, he wasn't up to the speed that we're expected to. But also, maybe we could give some of the credit to Nashville defense, their defense, which I said earlier. That's one of their strengths is their defense and how versatile they are. And even with a depleted lineup, it just goes to show how well they're set up to pick up for each other and to make things difficult for forwards, especially somebody like a Joseph Paintsil who depends on being able to cut and go and be able to disrupt the defense. But these guys are so solid that they're able to immediately respond to these things. I mean, the Galaxy goals, both of them kind of came out of nowhere. Like the Puig goal and the Dejan goal was in a scramble. So that's the kind of stuff you got to do to score on these guys. But this is good. Galaxy was able to come back like they did. But once again, mistakes. Especially Eddie, when I didn't get to see this portion of the game because I was at a kid party. I mean, I'm on the kid birthday circuit right now, but I was at a kid party, and then I saw it, the guys were texting us in a group chat saying, "Oh dear God, what did Paintsil just do?" And I went back and I looked at the highlight, and I'm looking at it, and I'm like, "Okay, he's got the ball. He's got the ball. Oh my God, why did you cut to the middle?" And then he draped himself over that guy. I'm like, "What the hell are you thinking?" He just had a really awful game. What happened,
Yeah,
Eddie?
I don't understand that play. Like, it doesn't. He's a pro, right? We've said he's played in the highest levels. The Galaxy actually started the second half, like the first 5 minutes, with the foot on the gas. Like, all right, we're back. We look like we're in control. We're looking dangerous. Painsil actually hits the pole from a shot outside the box right before that play. Right, Nashville comes back and attacks us, and it's crazy because Painsil does two great plays. He hits the pole with a great shot from outside the box, and then he recovers. He recovers in a play, that only he could with his speed, and takes the ball cleanly away from the Nashville attacker, and then he decides to cut into our own box. Like, I don't know, with the player in front of him already, and anybody that knows anything, any little bit about soccer is like, as soon as he made that move, you must have been like, what the fuck did he just do? And then he makes it worse. He fucking asked for a piggyback ride or whatever the hell he did. It's like it was like watching somebody at a restaurant wearing a white shirt, drop condiments on their like white shirt, and instead of dabbing, they're smudging. They're like, this will make it better. This will make it better. That's exactly what was going on, dude. It was just, yeah. I don't know. He had a total brain fart there, and that's not something I like to see, and that's unacceptable, right? It's unacceptable from a guy of his caliber, and it doesn't matter what the fucking what factor, like the traveling factor, the weather, none of that excuses that bonehead mistake.
Well, I mean, I just thought of something as well. I know that I mean, obviously, travel to the East Coast is a new thing in MLS. I mean, granted, teams play as many games as possible within their half of the conference. I mean, within their conference or their half of the country. But I guess if you want to, I'm not giving excuses. I'm just trying to think of reasons why maybe he's affected or other players. Um, Spring forward, travel halfway across the country, and then an early start, right? Which to us is a noon start. Some of us are just waking up, at noon on a Sunday. So, and then these guys are like, you got to get up, you got to play a game, and this hostile environment, in Nashville, and he just wasn't up for it. And unfortunately, at the end of the season, you look at the table, it doesn't give you, any kind of extra points for, you weren't up for a certain game. You either win, you lose, or you draw. And this, particular game, it ended up in a very testy draw for our guys. But yeah, I mean, it's in the end. I know some people were saying uh, we shouldn't be really, really upset with the result because at the end you got a point against a very tough team in their house. But then I'm gonna get into a topic I wanted to touch upon later on, and that um, is this a mirage? What Galaxy's doing? I know that at the beginning, people like Sasha Clation and some other pundits were saying, we can't believe it until we see it more consistently. And then, they went out and they smashed San Jose Earthquakes. But then a week later, you look at the Earthquakes, and they're getting destroyed. They're obviously not having a good time. They're not off to a good start. They're not a good team, obviously. You look at Inter Miami; they were coming off a very rough preseason, and then they went up against RSL before they went up against Galaxy, and so they came in all beat up themselves, and we barely got that draw. Um, Granted, there was a lot of a lot of shenanigans from the referees, and then you head off to Nashville, which on paper looks like a good opportunity to see how good this Galaxy team is. It's a great opportunity to see how they're going to go up against one of the better teams in the Eastern Conference. And then once again, Miami's involved, and it affects the out the lineup. So in the end, Galaxy got to face off against a diluted version of Nashville. So it makes me wonder, is how good really is the LA Galaxy? Because so far played against a Inter Miami team that was hurting. They played against a really bad San Jose Earthquakes team, and now they took on a depleted Nashville team. Granted, they got points in all these games, and they should be undefeated with 3-0-0. So what's going to happen when they face up against a team that's pretty strong, that doesn't have injuries or is firing on all cylinders and is ready to go? Begs the question. Now, next week's match is against St. Louis. St. Louis is no longer involved in the CONCACAF Champions Cup, and I know that they're going to want to bounce back from having been eliminated from that tournament so early, and they're going to want to look at this game as an opportunity to come into LA and take some points. We'll talk about that later in the week. Our good friend Matt Baker from Flyover Footy is going to join us to discuss that matchup. But for now, I was talking. I don't know if you heard me, Eddie. I was talking about how I think these results so far might be a mirage because they face off against teams that either aren't that good or were in compromised situations.
Uh, Maybe not a mirage, right? Think about it this way. I think there's a lot of truth behind those games. I think it's not necessarily that we're not that good. I think the opposition wasn't that good, right? I don't think Miami, Miami was also not who we think they are because they played Nashville, right? And Nashville was taking it to them. So there's that. San Jose, Vancouver walked into San Jose, shut out San Jose in San Jose's home, and then we played a depleted Nashville, but at the same time, it's like if you watch the game, the only reason we didn't win was because of mistakes and missed opportunities. But we created those opportunities, we just can't capitalize on them, and those mistakes, man, those were the boneheaded mistakes that
How
we
often
hope
are
don't
we hearing
happen
that though,
again.
Eddie? That same,
Yeah.
like we created opportunities, we just didn't convert them. Who did we say that a lot about? One of our favorite Frenchmen that ended up in the Rockies.
No, that's different though, because that's one player. I think it's a team. We just look
Yeah,
collectively
but
better.
I'm just saying, it's like we've heard that before. that same spiel of like, yeah, we create a lot of opportunities, we just don't convert them, and eventually, it's all gonna come, it's all gonna come together. But I know it's early. I know it's early in the season, but I keep going back to the whole like these points matter whether it's at the beginning or at the end. And
Oh,
and
they do.
MLS season is a marathon, so the guys that we have on the roster right now, maybe a third of them won't be there at the end.
Mhm.
Granted, you know, there's a lot of stuff that's going to happen during the season. There's going to be Leagues Cup play, and who knows? Maybe some way, somehow, our Galaxy those makes it to the later rounds of the U.S. Open Cup, and all of a sudden, hey guys, let's bring in the senior squad. So it's going to affect the roster as the season moves along. But
Uh,
for now,
did you go? Did you go? Did you go through the second goal?
no, we haven't gone to the second goal yet.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah.
So
Well, look at those mistakes, right? Like that. I mean, Nashville didn't not look that dangerous outside of mistakes. The Alden mistake was like the perfect layoff, and you're inside like near your six, and again, I don't know what the hell was going through his head. Maybe there's a gas leak at the end of that field that fucked with Paintsil and Alde, but Jesus, dude. And like I said, if it wasn't for those, and then there's another mistake too that Domine makes. He plays it straight into a Nashville player and takes an outside shot, and McCarthy comes up big. And like, again, if it wasn't for those boneheaded mistakes, we would have done a great job in shutting down this second string Nashville team.
and the game almost got away from them. I mean, it did get away from them at that point, but it could have been a lot worse.
Yeah.
Uh, and I mean, it was scoreless half, right? But at one point, you go from that where like, okay, it's not so bad, and then all of a sudden you're down 2-0. And what was going through your mind, Eddie? Because like I said, you were watching the game live. I'm at a kid party, getting updates. What was going through your
Uh,
mind?
I thought it was done. I thought, no, we lost because I was giving credit to Nashville, and actually we can from it's a good point. It's a good time to bring up the subs, right? The subs that Vanny did. Uh, at first, I was like, huh, it's questionable. But then as the game went on, I was like, oh, okay. Much credit to Vanny. So the subs where he pulled out Fagundes, brought in Miguel Berry, and he removed Sergio, which wasn't having a terrible game, but he brought in Brugman for him. And so what I think in my head, what I think was going on, I think Nashville was doing a good job of shutting down those wings, right? Paintsil and Fagundes. So I think Vanny kind of like played down the middle, and he welcomed Nashville to our wings, to attack our wings, because I don't feel that they had uh much much attack on their wings, and I think it made Nashville feel comfortable and they let off, and all of a sudden we found ourselves with a lot of opportunities. And dude, Miguel Berry, big shout out to him. That guy's a big boy, and he knows how to use that body. And he was crashing with a lot of players and roughing people up. And he actually is a big part of that second goal. I don't know if you caught that, but yeah, the first goal at that point I thought it was done. But then when Ricky gets that first goal, I was like, all right, the way MLS has gone this weekend, we're either gonna tie or we're gonna win, right?
Yeah, but that was a nice goal, man. And Ricky, I think when Nashville fans go to sleep tonight,
Mm.
they're gonna see like Ricky screaming at them in their faces all night long because that dude is like always terrorizing the in Nashville, man. Think back to how many times they play each other, and Ricky always finds a way to terrorize these guys.
They have a lot of fans. He has a lot of fans. You didn't hear them chanting?
Yeah,
Poo.
yeah. Every time he got the ball, whoosh. I was thinking the same thing because I saw portions of the game at the end where like every time he got the ball, whoosh, and I was like, yeah, that's right. That only encourages him. Fantastic. Thank you.
Yeah. And then we were on him. We were on him, and Then comes the second goal, a good shot from outside the box from it's like it's the opposite side of the box with the same, almost identical from where Ricky took his on the opposite side, and keeper comes with a big save. Alde patient waits for his offense to set up, plays a ball down, a grounded ball down the middle to the penalty spot, and Miguel Berry, he's in the first post. He makes a dummy. He makes a dummy, and then Dejan's there to to hit the sitter, and there we go. MLS to this week.
Yeah, it's. I was just talking earlier about how what's going on in Dayon's head, right? Because you go from the low of missing a penalty, yeah, and then all of a sudden you're questioning yourself, like because you mentioned also he missed a sitter right earlier in the game, and then
No, not earlier.
Dion's what was it
No, not
earlier in the game?
earlier.
Was it later
No,
on?
no, it's later. He misses the game winner.
Oh, okay. See, that's
Oh,
how you
chat.
know I
Oh,
didn't watch
chat.
that portion of the
Chat.
game.
Say you guys got to comment on that so Edgar knows how bad it was when Miguel Berry
How bad? How bad
plays.
was it?
Dude, rolling, not that much pace on it. Keeper was defeated, and he swings and he misses, and it goes like between his legs.
Yeah,
That bad.
yeah. Was it as bad? Was it as egregious as bad as that penalty that Paintsil gave up?
Just as bad.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah, just as bad.
So these are all things that right now have us scratching our heads and makes us question, what the hell's going on. But it's still early in the season, and so you hope that come mid-April, May, these are things that will no longer be uh, a factor, right? At that point, the players should all be firing on all cylinders, and they should be able to perform at a higher caliber than this. But um, it's important, like just like this is important for Galaxy to establish, a there's their dominance early in this game. It was important for them to right now get a nice little cushion in the West because you don't know how well the other teams around them are going to react to them because everybody like is watching Paintsil run up and down the sideline, and at some point they're going to start scouting him and they're going to figure out ways to shut him down. You can be sure that St. Louis, LAFC, and some of the other teams we're about to play are going to look at this tape and they're going to see what Nashville did to stymie Paintsil's attack, and they're going
Yeah,
to try to replicate the same thing.
yeah. I mean, well, hopefully Vanny, he seems to be on it, so hopefully he adjusts as well. I don't really have much bad to say about Vanny except that one game where he made early subs, but then again, it was a 3-0 lead already, so hopefully he's on it. Anyways,
There's one thing I
if
wanted to bring up, Eddie.
anybody oh, hold
Yeah.
on real quick though. If anybody has any questions, put them on the chat because
Yes.
Brian's our social media guy and we don't have access to the questions that you guys submitted. We apologize. Go ahead, Chewy. I mean, Edgar.
Yeah, the one thing I wanted to bring up, and you remember this because like you guys told me, oh, the Galaxy came back and tied the game. I was
Mm,
like, hell yeah! And I said, watch the Galaxy tie the game. Boyd comes in and then he scores like at the death to beat the Galaxy because that has been the running theme for like the last 2 weeks in MLS where people scoring late goals, like at the death to like win games. Like even the Portland Timbers hit a game-winning home run earlier, right? Uh, at Yankee Stadium. I mean, it's just been nuts. MLS. I mean, these aren't just goals at the death. These are like screamers, like amazing goals that people have been scoring. So I was thinking to myself, what better narrative to drive everybody absolutely insane and to have Tyler Boyd come in, our Boyd, and then have him score the game winner for Nashville. But thankfully, that wasn't the case because that would have set Galaxy Twitter on fire, I think.
oh yeah, yeah. Do you want to do some awards? Are we done with this game?
Um, sure. Unless Chui has anything else he wants to say. Chuyaso?
I take that as a no.
Chui?
He's remember he's struggling with the
it's
mic.
yeah, it's a mission to turn on the mic on time and make it work properly.
Okay.
And here in another
Um,
country, bro, you can make a mic work.
And
so
I'm
I'll let
playing
you
I'm
take the
playing
lead
it
on this one,
live
Eddie.
on YouTube, and you're in another country.
uh, we're gonna go bad. Let's go bad. I think bad is easy, right? Obvious,
Hmm.
because the word is called game is off. Paintsil.
Definitely. Yeah, obviously. It sucks. Like I said earlier,
Yeah.
we've come to expect something from him in such a short period of time, right? Two games is a very small sample size, but what we saw, we really, really like. It's kind of like in the NFL. A lot of times in the NFL, you have like a player that can impact a position like a quarterback, wide receiver. They have a very good 2 weeks, and everybody's like, "Wow, this is it. This is the next superstar. This guy's gonna be the man." And then the next 3 weeks, absolute trash, right? I mean, I'm not saying Paintsil's gonna go in that direction, but he had a very bad game, and despite that, Galaxy was able to still get a result. So it just it shows that the team isn't gonna rely on him completely, but at the same time, he did hurt us the penalty and not as such a sharp performance. So game is off definitely. I mean, it fits perfectly. Game is off.
Yeah. I guess in order, right? You got Heartman.
Yeah.
Uh, I'm gonna go Barry. He was a big difference maker. I think. Like again, he came in. He started just bullying and throwing his body at people, and then he has that big dummy. Credit to him for knowing, where he's at on the field and knowing that there's a better opportunity or better chance at goal right behind him. So yeah, we got Barry because we also given him a lot of shit before.
Well, this is where it's kind of weird. Like, who do I give it to? Because I'm thinking Dayon, but then he missed that penalty, and um, but I'm gonna give it to McCarthy just because he did make a few saves that didn't seem like they were gonna be on goal, and then all of a sudden you see the ball dip. I know there was a shot by Hani Mukhtar. He took a shot, and all of a sudden the ball dipped, and McCarthy had the wherewithal to get up and punch it over
Yeah,
over the bar, and I was like, "Ooh!" If he wasn't paying attention, if he would have been just a step slower, that would have definitely scored. And like we said earlier, he's very mobile. He gets to the spot right before the shot can be dangerous. So he's proving to he's becoming a very important part of this team. We haven't had a reliable goalkeeper in a while. And I'm not saying he's at the same level as somebody like a Jaime Penedo, because that's the last time I felt like we had a really good goalkeeper.
mhm.
But the fact that we have somebody that's better than mid, it's it gives you a sense of confidence that at least there's somebody back there that knows what they're doing. So yeah,
At least it looks like what they're doing. Is what they're doing.
yeah,
All right. So actually, I'm getting tired of who scored. So I actually went and made my own little. I took who scored's thing and I made some changes and you're not gonna be able to see it, Edgar, because I'll send it to you on the. I'll send it to you directly so you can see it. So Chewy can put it up since his virtual camera is not working right now. And before we get to the next standing player award, uh, you know, I want you to see what I think.
It
Great.
they're
Well, oh, you should be able to see it on the YouTube live feed actually, Edgar.
I see it.
So uh, for me, next standing's got to be Ricky, right? Ricky Pooch. I think
Yeah.
he played one of his better games. He was very calm, and they rated him like 7 point something. And I was like, dude, this guy had his better game. Yeah, he's actually doing those, trying to do those through balls, but they made sense. Not all of them went through, but they made sense. He had a great game. He was very patient. So I thought Ricky was the best player. And yeah, I actually gave Paintsil a 5.8 because terrible, not ineffective, and the only way he was effective was in a bad way. Uh,
Hmm.
all day I brought him down to a 6.0 because yeah, he got an assist, but it was like, dude, because of your error, we needed you to make up and get that assist. And then I also rated Cáceres, Sheeta higher. I put him at 7.5. And then McCarthy at 7.3 because I had him like at 6.2. It's like, dude, he had some big saves. He couldn't do anything about the twos the two goals he conceded.
Yeah, no, it has to definitely be Ricky Pooch next inning. That dude, he lives rent free in Nashville's mind.
Mm.
For some reason, he's very comfortable going into that stadium and Geodis Field, I think it is. And I'm sure like the next time, LA Galaxy has to play Nashville over there, all the people are gonna, greet him, with adoringly, showering him with a bunch of very wonderful Ricky Push as soon as he hits the field, knowing, that he owns them completely. So
Yeah. Cool. All right. Let's get to some of these questions, and then I have one topic that we'll lead off with. And let's see. A lot of questions about where Brian's at. We don't know. The chat seems to have a better. They seem to have a better idea than we do of where he's at.
So that
Uh,
I'm not gonna lie, that whole Ricky Bouge,
uh-huh.
that was good. I liked it.
it's, it's what's in the water here, bro. That's why it helps me think and makes me run to the restroom. Let's see here. One of the questions was from. I should like. I wish you could mark them somehow. From Brandon Berman says, "Do you think we win this game if we have Peck?" I don't think so. I don't think the well we haven't seen Peck enough to think that he was going to win this game for us because yeah, Nashville was
Yeah.
really defending the wings.
Yeah, a lot of people have been wondering. I mean, the question this morning, a lot of people saw floating around the internet was, "Where's Pack? Where's Pack? Where's Pack? How come he's not with traveling with the team? Why is and then later on, why is he not even in the on the bench?" And it's like, well, unlike us that are constantly following what's going on in the Twitter sphere, a lot of people weren't aware that Ricky Gabriel Beck is getting married this week. So congratulations to him and his lovely bride. Um, and so
How do you know
got
she's
to give
lovely?
the
I'm just kidding.
how dare you look at this guy. So congratulations to Gabriel Beck. Wherever he is right now, he might be back in Brazil.
Oh, maybe
But
Brian's at the wedding.
maybe Brian's at the wedding. There you go. Yeah. Maybe Brian's lying face down next to the punch bowl right now. But yeah, so Gabriel Peck wasn't there because of that. And the thing about Peck, right, we were so excited when we got him. Obviously, Galaxy paid a pretty penny to get him over here, and
Mhm.
we've yet to still see him at his full potential. Um, I'm thinking probably like 2-3 weeks from now. I hope we get to see what Peck can really do for this club because we already seen Paintsil, but we already saw a defense adjust to Paintsil and how that affected him. Now give me a Gabriel Beck running full on and have these two guys go in there and start creating chaos. And we're talking vanny ball here, right? Where you have wingers coming up the flanks, running diagonals, creating all this chaos so that Dejan can go in there and just do his thing and not have to worry too much uh,
Mhm.
about where he's going to place the ball. Just tap it in. That's all we're asking him to do, man. So hopefully we get to see more Gabriel Peck in the weeks to come.
Yeah.
But
So
patience, right? Patience.
So, I just want to lose it. We'll come back to this one because this is what I'm gonna end with something like this. Brandon asks or says DJ is a good striker, but can we rely on him all season? Are we even looking for another striker? We're gonna circle back to that one because what I want to talk about has to do with that.
Israel with the super chat.
Miguel also says that we should find a new co-host, and he says maybe Jesse Canelas. Send us your resume, and we'll send you a very professional, lovely rejection letter.
To see Israel's super chat.
Hold on, I'm scrolling down. Hey man,
There you go. There
it's
you
hard to
go.
do this.
That
Let me
That
see.
Mexican internet there. Just running on hamsters.
Game of Peck. I know there was another one. Oh, when do we think Peck will be in the starting lineup? It's kind of hard with the way. I mean, you got to start him because he's paying him a lot of money. But Fagundes is making a good argument why he should be starting.
That's good. It'll push Peck to try harder, earn his
Hmm.
pay.
See,
You catching up,
Peck
ready?
I'm almost there.
This is what the
Uh,
internet was like back in 1995.
it's all pixelated,
Yeah.
S- squared nipples.
Waiting for that picture of Captain Janeway to come
Israel
out.
$2 super chat. That joke made me spit off my chicken wing.
Ain't no thing but a chicken wing with big butt saying on your lap. Hey.
Miguel uh, asked, "Did Paintsil get hurt at the end of the game?" I didn't catch it. I
Yeah, I don't
don't.
think I saw anything like that either.
I don't think so though.
Because it looked like at the very end of the game, Paintsil looked like he was just completely worn out.
Mm.
I think before we came out, I was talking about how uh, they got that corner at the end, right? Or they had the ball at the end, and they didn't do anything with it. They're just like,
Mm.
let the game end. That's it. It's over. We're done. We're spent. So that might have been.
Uh,
It might have been
Jessica
it.
Nellis, do we believe Vanny will change strategy against St. Louis? I don't think so. I think St. Louis is a team fitted for our strategy, and I think being at home, we should be able to take that.
I don't know, Eddie.
Hey, man.
St. Louis is trying to make sure that they don't go through that sophomore jinx. Kind of like what Austin, Austin was really hot that first season, and then the wheels fell off the wagon, and so St. Louis is trying real hard to make sure that they maintain that superiority in the West, and I think that will be the first real test for this LA Galaxy team, where we could say that they're facing off against a team that's going to bring them 100% effort, 100% players. But we'll know more about that later in the week when we talk to Matt from St. Louis, and he'll give us the whole rundown on that.
Yeah. Okay. So that's pretty. Wait. Brandon Berman as who's strong? I think he's
How
saying
strong
who's
do you think
strong
our bench is?
or who's.
Um,
Yeah. How strong? Not. I don't think it's that strong. I think Barry is obviously going to be fitting in some. Well, actually, it'll get stronger because Cerillo isn't bad, and then um Cerillo isn't bad, and either him or Brugman's going to come off the bench, right? And then obviously, if Gabriel Peck is proven, then that means Facundes off the bench as much as it sucks, but then it becomes stronger, right?
yeah,
Uh, Johnny Perez is going to mature. I like what I see from him. Aguirre is not a bad option off the bench either. So yeah, I mean, it's going to get stronger, I guess. And to what I wanted to end with, who should be on the bench?
Hmm.
I think you need to start putting pressure. He needs to be on the hot seat. Nobody can sit here and tell me that Dejan looks like a confident striker.
Mm-mm.
You didn't see the game. I don't know if the highlights show the missed header as well.
I saw the
The
missed header.
sitter, it's just the thing is that he needs to be put under pressure as well, right? Like these tap ins, yeah, it builds confidence, but then you see him do what he did today, and then it's like Miguel Berry's not gonna put that much pressure on him, at practice or looking over at the bench, like, oh man, this this guy's could take my place. So I think that you maybe don't sign anyone now, or you don't think you can, but you have to be looking just in case if this continues. And just imagine like the ball we're playing right now and the chances we're getting if someone like Chicha was on the team.
Oh yeah,
Obviously it wasn't possible with the money, but Chicha would be eating up those goals
yeah. No,
all
there
day.
were. Yeah, absolutely. In fact, interesting you bring a Chicha up because the I did get to see portions of the first half, and there were a couple of occasions when Dejan got the ball and he missed for some reason or other. The ball went wide, or he just didn't get it. Didn't get it to stay down. And I was thinking to myself, Chicharito would have buried those. But you're talking about two different players, two different types of caliber, at two different positions in their careers. But for as much talk, and this is what's going to hound him for quite a while, right? I guess maybe until he either improves or Galaxy sends him off, on his future endeavors. But all that talk he made in 2022 is coming back to haunt him.
Yeah.
And but something happened, right? Whether it was somebody getting in his ear about his style of play, whether it's the tactics, whether it was somebody telling him to humble himself, right? But something happened to Dayon that he is not the same person he was in 2022 as he is now, and it's pretty obvious. You don't have to be a psychologist or be some kind of real close observant. You can just look at his body language. It's not the same. It's kind of disconcerting. And like you said, you want somebody who is a lot more confident and that is going to be able to take these shots, these opportunities, especially when you line up from the spot. Those are really important opportunities. They never come back.
Yeah.
So hopefully he cleans that up because things are only going to get tougher from here on out. St. Louis, and I think LAFC, and then Seattle, right? In that
Yeah.
order. So, ooh,
And
pretty
that's the
big.
thing too. That's the thing too. You said, like those missed chances could come back to haunt us too. It's really early, but what if we see ourselves 2 points out of a fucking uh home playoff game?
Yeah,
You know, you're gonna look
and then
back
you have
and like,
scabby
man,
Rap still.
yeah, exactly. And you're like, man, that missed penalty, the sitter that he missed, all that's gonna come back. So like, you need to like tighten those screws, and I think if it doesn't get better, like it's. I mean, it even pains Edgar to say, you have to look elsewhere. You have to find a killer, or at least somebody to put pressure on Dejan. I was thinking like, what about like like a shock trade, right? Would you think if the money's there, right, and they say Fagundes goes to the bench, he's unhappy. Again, I'm not saying this is going to happen, but would you take a chance in a trade for Joseph Martinez? I don't think he's a TP anymore, right?
Oof.
Do you think
No,
he does it? I'm just
I
throwing out
don't know.
scenarios.
Yeah, that's a good question because I saw his name pop up in the chat as well, and Joseph Martinez. I think he's going to become a more important part of what's going on in Montreal right now. If
Mhm.
you guys haven't been paying attention, Montreal has quietly uh, climbed to the top of the Eastern Conference, and
Oh shit.
they were there a couple years ago, and then they had a debacle last year, and they have quietly put together a really solid team, and they added Joseph Martinez in the offseason. Joseph was looking for a place to land, and a lot of people in Galaxy Land, I know, threw his name around like, "Hey, what about Joseph? What about Joseph?" And people were like, "Nah, he's over the hill. He's over the hill." The, uh, it's one thing to get older and deal with injuries and fitness, issues, but skill, it's something that you never lose, right? Your
Mhm.
mind, you never lose this, right? Even as you get older, one of the things that you do as you get older as a player is you figure out how to do things uh, more efficiently without having to expend as much energy. So that way you're able to play longer and do, play at the same level or almost at the same level without tiring yourself out. And it's something that I personally noticed as I was getting older. I was like, oh, I'm becoming smarter. I'm doing things that I wish I would have known when I was younger, and I'm not expending as much energy as I used to. Granted, I can't run at that level anymore, and I was like, damn, I wish I had known this when I was younger. Well, there's players that have that innate skill, that know-how, and Joseph Martinez strikes me as one of those guys who, yeah, at such a young age, he made such an impact in MLS and for Atlanta, and now he's with Montreal, and it just another feather in their cap. So if some way, somehow, LA Galaxy is able to convince the Quebecois way up there in Montreal, hey, we'll give you this Serbian kid. He's good, man. He's got his own T-shirts and everything, his own celebration, and give us Joseph and bring him back to a nice little warm weather area and let him go.
Hey man, put me in office. He's not starting over there in Montreal, and then we promised Joseph a starting spot, and then they have a young, promising kid that doesn't have to start. Problem solved.
Yeah, I know that this GM, I'm sorry, this front office and the LA Galaxy said that they wanted to have all the parts that they needed uh,
Uh-huh.
from the get go, right? So that they wouldn't have to depend so much in the summer transfer window. But I feel that at some point, you're still going to have to go out there and look at the market and see what's available. and maybe tighten a few things. And hopefully, the LA Galaxy is fighting for a playoff spot, not just a playoff spot. I'm sorry, but fighting for one of the top spots in the West, and that they can go out there and find somebody that will solidify whatever they're doing and make this team stronger. But for now, still a lot of questions. Um, like it's like we said, like I said earlier, the Nashville narrative changed as the week went along. Right, it went from like me thinking, "Oh yeah, we're definitely going to lose," to "Oh, I think we're going to get a draw," to "Hey, I think we're going to win," and then it didn't happen. But that's how things are this early in the season. There's so many variables, so many things, so many questions, and but we're seeing answers little by little trickle down. It's frustrating, right? Because you want to have a good idea of what to expect, but we're not there yet. But we're getting there, and this season is a marathon. That's one thing we got to remember.
A couple more questions before we wrap it up. Will Ishida have a tough time against Klaus, or is this in par
Oof,
with defending?
Klaus is
I think not,
scary, dude.
but I think that's a good matchup. He's not the
Yeah,
most speedy guy, so I think it should be a good matchup. Not saying that he's gonna put him in his back pocket, but I don't think I did think it's gonna be a good battle. I guess his
yeah.
respect to Klaus as well. Uh, I saw another question here.
So
Oh,
Brandon Berman, Berman,
from Brandon. If Dayon gets 15 goals this season, has it been successful? I'd say yeah.
obviously, definitely,
Yep.
yeah.
Because
Because
you're gonna
at
get
that
close to
point, you're how many goals did he score in 2022? Was it 14? I think it was
something like
14.
that. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So if he gets at least to that level of production, and not just off the bench, but as a starter, that's a big
Yeah.
deal because as the season progresses, we're gonna expect to see goals also from Paintsil and probably Peck, and
Yeah.
maybe Miguel Berry coming off the bench, maybe as coming as a starter to give Dayon a break once in a while. Give him a break.
And he
But
could
you know what
easily
I
be
mean, right?
yeah, he could easily be sitting on 5 already.
Yeah. So, yeah, no,
Yes.
you're absolutely correct. Deion could have had 5 goals at this point already. He definitely could have had two in this game. Three. Three. He could have had three in this game. Damn. Damn. Oh, well. On to the next
All
one.
right. Yeah. So real quick, because I don't know. I don't know if I'll be able to get on next week or chime in because I'll be in a different part of this beautiful country. So thoughts on the game against St. Louis? I think it's just the way it matches up. I think we'll do fine against St. Louis. As long as Dejan converts and he doesn't shoot any more penalties, I think we walk away
Oh,
with the win and out goes bold to say that we're gonna get our first shutout because we're overdue. So I like 2-0. We'll 2-0 Galaxy.
yeah. Well, I'll provide my prediction in the midweek show when we talk to Matt Baker from Flyover Footy. But for now, yeah. Hey, I want to give a shout out to my boy, the biggest G of all, the biggest G since the 1950s, Godzilla. Because Godzilla got his Oscar, baby. If you haven't
All right.
seen Godzilla minus one, oh my goodness, it's an amazing, amazing, and fantastic movie. It's gonna surprise you if you haven't seen it. Whatever you think about Godzilla, I know a lot of us remember Godzilla from the Heisei era, which is the one from the 70s where he's all goofy, right?
Uh,
And maybe some of you have, saw the 98 Godzilla movie, which is really stupid. And some of you have seen the legendary movies, which have gotten stupider and stupider as they've gone along. But this Godzilla movie, minus one, oh my God, this movie, it should have been nominated for Best Picture, to be honest. But hey, we'll take whatever victories we can. The best visual effects on a very paltry budget, by the way. You see movies like Dune,
you
yeah,
know,
I mean, and other films like Star Wars, whatever, have like billions and billions of dollars thrown at visual effects, and these guys did it like I think like 200,000 or something. I forget. It was like $5 and a bucket of cookies or something. I don't know. So yeah, they
fucking
actually had Chewie like doing special effects with them. So there you
fucking
go.
fucking
Chewie,
Edgar's
accept
over here.
accept your trophy, Chewie. Accept your Oscar.
Fucking Edgar was giving a speech like he won. He won the Oscar.
Thank
And
you,
stuff
thank you,
right
thank you. I see the thing
I'm gonna
flashing
play the
in Eddie's
music.
like,
Play
get
him
off the
out.
kid.
Play him
Hey,
out.
play him out.
Shit. Yeah. So I think that's pretty much does it. You guys got anything else before we go?
That's it, man. I know that right now you got to go pay your respects to the porcelain god. So
uh, So make sure to follow News Across the Galaxy on all social medias. Thank you guys for tuning in live, subscribing. Make sure to subscribe, share, like, whatever helps get News Across the Galaxy out there. Edgar, tell them where they can find you.
Yeah, you guys can find me on Twitter, X, whatever the hell it's called these days, and Instagram is Edgar Nags. Please, I'm asking you guys again, go and check out the best kit of 2024 tournament thing that I have set up. It's 2 matchups every day, and the whole point is to just try and decide which kit is you guys think is the best and MLS for the season, and don't just vote for the LA Galaxy, and because honestly, they don't have the best kit out there in my opinion, so they'll just vote for them. Go out and vote for the other teams, and you guys decide. In the end, there's going to be only one that stands tall, and we're going to see who it is. Chewy,
On that Mike Chewy.
Chewy,
He'll do it.
Chewy has
All right.
Chewy.
I'm like, I already said it like 3 times. It takes me a bit to turn this on. Uh, you guys can find me as Chavez JA Chavez Han on my socials. Pretty easy, pretty simple.
All right. Don't get scared. No outro music tonight. But thank you everyone again for tuning in live. We appreciate you being on here on this late night after lack of sleep because time we lost an hour because y'all time traveled overnight. So
Yeah.
for Edgar, Chewy, myself, this has been another episode of News Across the Galaxy. Till next time, keep on nagging.
Not again.
Keep on nagging.